Okay. Let's get back over here. Dairy products such as cheese and yogurt and sour cream and cottage cheese and butter and ice cream, all dairy products. Milk is graded as grade A for liquid consumption and grade B for manufactured dairy products. Milk is split into 1% milk fat, 2% milk fat, whole milk, which is a higher level milk fat, which would be the same milk fat that would come from the cow, and half and half. And then skim milk is 0% milk fat. And here's a chunky milk video on YouTube. Look that up. Chunky milk commercial. Get you a good laugh. We use hides from cattle. We don't let anything go to waste. We use the blood and bone meal as fertilizer and then feeds. And then, pork. Poor diagram, but it kind of gives you an idea of where the ham comes from. Ham is back leg. Loin is in this region up here. So where you get your pork chops, your tenderloin will be on the inside, right underneath the backbone. Your baby back ribs will be right underneath the loin, and then you have the spare ribs. The side is where your bacon comes from. Bacon comes from the side and the stomach, the belly. And you have picnic shoulder, Boston butt, and then a jowl. And there's so many other pieces that get used. All little scrap pieces and the trimmings get turned into bologna, hot dogs, and Spam. There's slaughter video. Here's some meat that you'll see. Pork steak, pork loin with the baby back ribs right there, and then that's a ham. Pork skins, you can use as leather. You can eat pork rinds. And here's meat grading. Okay, that fat marbling I was talking about, you see that right there? That's the fat marbling. Not very much fat marbling in the USDA Select. So this is a beef steak. So intermuscular fat is that right there. What will almost some will turn into gristle. That's not as desirable as the RA, intramuscular fat, which is the fat marbling. The more of that, the better you get paid. The more of that you see, the more expensive the steak. The more of that you see, the more tender that steak's going to be. That is going to cook out. That's going to turn to liquid when you cook it, which will leave a void in that meat, which makes the meat more tender, more juicy, tender steak. Makes me hungry thinking about it. Then poultry products, it's chicken. Here is a turkey video from Temple Grandin. Recommend you watching that. Search that on YouTube, Temple Grandin. Turkey processing plant, very good video. And then poultry products include eggs and feathers. It takes 21 days to hatch a chicken. Here is a diagram of how they develop. And grades of eggs. So your high double A, see how high that stands up? The white's called the albumin, and then the yellow is the yolk. And as eggs get older, or if they're of low quality, see how they'll flatten out in the skillet more, and that albumin will be thinner. Okay, so that's the reason sometimes you cook eggs, they look different. Poultry byproducts, feathers, and the litter. The litter is good fertilizer. Okay, some litter will average out to 12, 12, 12. That's 12% nitrogen, 12% phosphorus, and 12% potash or potassium. You can also mix it into cattle feed. I've seen some feed rations recently that been mixing that into stocker cattle feed. Yolk products, Siobhan is the meat. We eat the forequarters, the rack, which is the loin, and the ribs, and then the loin, and then the leg. This was a lamb processing plant. Cashmere, get that from goats. That's cashmere. It's goat hair. And then milking goats, dairy products. Sheep. Okay, lamb is the meat under a year old. So if lamb is from a younger animal, mutton is from older sheep. Lamb is much more desirable than mutton. Here's some different cuts of meat from lambs. And we also get wool. And here's a shearing video. Look up sheep shearing. Animal rights versus animal welfare. Okay, animal welfare includes all the rights. Includes all animals, whether used for food, companionship, or sport. So let me just break this down for you. You can read this. So animal rights. It believes that